Welcome to Burn On, Not Out, the podcast for high achievers who've checked the boxes, hit the goals, built the life, but know there has to be another way. I'm Brooke Dukes, your no BS business bestie, and I'm here to cut through the fluff with real stories, sharp insights, and the kind of truth that opens your eyes to a new way of creating success with ease and flow. No hacks, no hustle worship, no pretending constant activity is momentum. Just the raw, practical, and powerful shifts that happen when you stop leading from fear and start leading without the armor, with clarity and authenticity. Let's get into it. I went to preterm labor on a corporate jet, and it was one of the best wake-up calls of my life. This was, this is over 20 years ago. And I was working for a Fortune 100 IT outsourcing company. I'd been working on a deal with United Airlines to outsource some of their call centers to Nova Scotia. I was 8 months pregnant. I was supposed to be on bed rest. However, in my true MG workaholic fashion, I was not. And even I knew it was not a good idea for me to go on this corporate jet to Nova Scotia. So I prepped my right hand, who really was more qualified for this trip because she had all of the IT experience. I was the quarterback. I didn't have any IT experience. So I told my boss, I have prepped my right hand. She's going to go in my place. And he said, great, if you want to give her the 6-figure bonus. So needless to say, I got on the corporate jet, and on the way home, I went into preterm labor. Now my daughter's fine. They were able to stop it. And in the hospital, I really did some soul searching because I couldn't understand how I could risk my life and my child's life for money. And that wasn't even the scariest part. The real shock was what I learned about me. Because in that time, as I was judging myself, feeling shame and guilt and all the emotions that came with it, I recognized I wasn't living in my values. Anyone that was looking at me from the outside would think the only thing I cared about was money, climbing the corporate ladder, and success. And that couldn't have been further from the truth. I had an amazing husband, a wonderful son, and a daughter on the way. So I really thought on that. Like, what was it then? What are my values? Why would I do that? And what I recognized was I was living in a conditioned response. What does that mean? Well, that means that I had a biological father. And I just want to say, because some people have asked, and my actual father has asked me to let people know that is not the man who raised me. The man who raised me, his name is John. He is the most amazing man. This is not who I'm talking about. This is my biological father. He was very emotionally and physically abusive to my mother and I. And she stayed in that relationship 10 years longer than she wanted to because she believed she could not financially support us. Now, of course, there were many other reasons in that, her own conditioned responses and all of that. But what I saw as a child was she didn't have the financial security she needed to make herself safe. So unconsciously, I spent my adult life up until that point making myself safe. What I didn't realize was I was also making myself very sick. And it wasn't, to me, success wasn't just ambition. It was safety. And if I stopped, everything might fall apart. So it wasn't just about the money. It was about survival masquerading as success. I quit corporate America on that day. Well, after I took maternity leave, I quit corporate America and started my first business. And I've never looked back. This season, I talked about in the last episode, really, really slow down, reflect, be present, right? Find out where you're living outside your values and what might be going on behind the scenes. Because most of us are sprinting towards a finish line that doesn't exist, right? What are you pushing toward? And what is it costing you? If your holiday cheer is powered solely by caffeine and guilt, this episode is your sign to unplug and recalibrate. Because we build success for freedom and end up creating prisons that mimic our trauma, overworking, burnout, numbness, launch fatigue, rewriting content 7 times. If your identity is evolving, but your business hasn't caught up, you'll feel it in your body before your brand. Before you plan 2026, ask yourself this: are you living in your values or are you proving your worth? You don't need a better strategy. You need a blueprint that matches how you're actually built to lead. Look, I didn't get off that jet and suddenly have it all figured out, but something shifted. I looked at the root. I was chasing safety through success. I realized I was living a life that looked successful but felt like survival. So I came back to my human design. I have emotional authority. I'm a manifesting generator. I'm a line 5-1. I'm not built to power through or people please. I'm built to wait, respond, and when I've waited for my emotions to settle and things are clearer, then I can move fast. That shift in perspective changed everything. That pause and reflection wasn't a one-time aha. It became a ritual. It wasn't a reset button I hit when I crashed, but it became a practice, a rhythm of waiting for my emotions to settle, then asking myself, is this something I truly want, or am I just reacting to my past? That's what this season is for. Not more hustle disguised as holiday cheer, but redefining how we want to move in 2026. From clarity, not fear. From values, not obligation. Now, as I said, my daughter's fine, but I was forever changed, because you can't outsource your integrity or your values, but you can realign before your body forces you to. Before the year end, ask yourself this: what are you no longer available for? And what would it look like to lead from your truth in 2026? If you're listening to this thinking, wow, that's me. I've been pushing, performing, reacting from old patterns, then come reset with me inside Success by Design. Because this isn't a course. It's not a productivity system. It's a space once a month to realign your business, your strategy, and your energy with how you're actually built. And because I believe in this so much, you can try it for free this month. No catch, no pressure, just clarity. The link's in the show notes. We're not waiting for January 1st. We're leading differently now. Have a fabulous holiday season. Thanks for tuning in to Burn On Not Out. If this resonated, check the show notes for tools and resources to help you slow down, trust yourself, and keep leading without the constant pressure and stress that wears you down. Remember, real success doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from slowing down long enough to see clearly and leading from clarity and peace instead of control and fear. I'll see you next week.